Good afternoon, lovely people of the internet. Welcome back to Maverick Baking, and welcome back to another several minutes of footage of me putting chocolate in my face. For your pleasure. Yes, we are back today for another classic junk food review. Now, this is one that has been requested by several people, and I don't just mean that in the way that some influencers say when they're all like,
so many of you guys have been asking where I got my foundation from.
When really no one has. Today's video is genuinely one that has been requested in several comments across several videos on the channel, so I just had to give it to you guys. Now, I had a bit of a nightmare finding this product, but we finally have it today, and we're going to be taste testing and reviewing it to let you know if it's worth the hefty £2.50 price tag. Yes, that's £2.50 each. We are talking about the brand new M&Ms Chocolate Bars. I managed to get all three of these flavours in Sainsbury's. I have since been informed there's actually a fourth flavour, which is hazelnut, which I don't have, and my local Sainsbury's is quite far away. Annoyingly, I don't have that one, but I think we're going to be able to get the general gist of the chocolate from these three main flavours. The flavours we are talking about are the regular plain chocolate M&Ms bar, the crispy M&Ms bar, which I am just disgracefully excited to eat, and the peanut M&Ms bar. I'm going to start with the plain chocolate M&Ms bar. It seems to make sense. This one is 165 grams, so it's definitely bigger than your typical British bar. I kind of like the vertical layout of the packaging and stuff. Usually a bar like this you will see packaged this way and shelved this way, so this is, you know, it's quite standout. I like it. Very minimalist on the front. It just tells us that we're going to be tasting milk chocolate with M&Ms minis. So the packaging has given us an idea of what this is going to look like on the inside. So let's just tear into this bar and see what we're dealing with. My love, how I have waited for thee. So the bar is a particularly funky one. This is what it looks like. So we have your kind of classic chunks. We have a big old, I think that's the red M&M guy. It's an anthropomorphic sweetie, that's all you really need to know. And you can see that while the back looks fairly plain and just milk chocolatey, on the front you can see just M&Ms peppered and speckled through this milk chocolate bar, which just make it look really enticing, really colourful. Let's get into it. Decent snap to the chocolate. I don't imagine it's going to be particularly well tempered, because it's probably not the highest quality of chocolate, but there is a decent shine to the outside. It doesn't look too chalky. Let's see what the M&Ms chocolate bars taste like. I'm gonna be honest here, I'm quite pleasantly surprised. I never thought this chocolate was going to be particularly bad. I just didn't have any high hopes for it being memorable. I thought these bars would be fairly kind of chalky in taste, or they wouldn't be particularly creamy, or they'd be way too sweet. I'm actually pretty impressed by both the taste and the texture of these bars. As I said, it's obviously not your highest quality milk chocolate. You know, it's not like you can taste the single origin cacao bean in every mouthful, but it's certainly not the worst milk chocolate I've ever tasted. The chocolate, as I said, had a nice shine to it, which usually suggests a good texture, and this does have a good texture. It's very smooth, it's very creamy, it melts really, really nicely in the mouth. I can see from the ingredients that they have kind of milk and milk fat in varying percentages. The main fat in it is cocoa butter, but you also have skimmed milk powder, milk fat, whey powder, and full cream milk powder, which means that you're getting a kind of mixture of that milky flavour as well as that kind of smooth texture. It also doesn't have too much vegetable oil added to it. While it does have some, it doesn't have that amount that can make your mouth feel kind of greasy and disgusting afterwards, like a lot of milk chocolate does. As for the taste, as expected, it is a super sweet milk chocolate, but not in a bad way. While it doesn't have all the distinctive flavour of a Cadbury bar or a Galaxy bar, it's definitely a decent standard milk chocolate. As for the M&Ms, while you don't kind of detect them a whole lot because it's mostly just the texture of the sugar shell you get in there, you do get a little bit of that kind of classic M&Ms taste throughout it, as well as a nice bit of crunch from those shells. Thankfully, there are actual whole M&Ms in here, because one thing I was worried about, you can see a kind of bubble where one has been and one sticking out the edge there. I did worry that this would almost, not worry, that sounds ridiculous, I'm so worried. I was concerned that this might just be a plain ass milk chocolate bar with some sugar shells scattered through it for texture. But they have put actual whole M&Ms in here and even given a considerate thought to the placement of them in the bar to make it look extra enticing. My mouth is still watering. While it obviously isn't the best chocolate bar I've ever eaten, it's very decent, it's a decent size, and I would say it's probably enjoyable enough for you to try at least once, even though it is pricey. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5. Let's move on to the crispy M&M bar. So this is the bar you will find in the blue wrapper. Now, crispy M&Ms are so good. They are probably my favourite of the kind of classic UK M&Ms lineup. I just think the texture and the flavour of them is so addictive. The crispiness comes from puffed rice pieces, almost like tiny little Rice Krispies inside the M&Ms, which means that when you're eating them, they don't have that same kind of sickly richness that the classic M&M does. Instead, they offer a little bit more texture, a little bit of that kind of addictive savouriness. I'm so into it, so I am really excited to see how this bar is. I can't even open it properly. My anticipation is getting the better of me, folks. As you can see, it is just the same on the front. We have the plain milk chocolate and you can see all those colourful M&Ms hiding in there. On the back, you can see all those gorgeous crispy pieces are just hiding, waiting for my teeth to sink violently into them. You can see again all of those gorgeous kind of crispy bits hiding in there. I think it's really going to be good for the texture. Let's give it a try. This is a spiritual experience. This bar absolutely nails it. Everything is pretty much identical to the first bar. In taste, you know, the chocolate's exactly the same, everything's exactly the same, but the texture that those crispy things give this is so bloody good. So again, I will just show you a kind of close-up of how much of that crispy action you have going on in there. Sometimes when you get crispy chocolate, there really isn't enough balance of that thick, heavy chocolate to the kind of light, crunchy crispiness. This seriously nails it. The crunchiness alongside those kind of crisp sugar shells in there as well of the M&Ms, the creaminess of that chocolate. I could quite happily demolish this entire bar right in front of you as we speak. Honestly, for being exactly as advertised, for being everything I wanted it to be, and for just being an all-round little good boy, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. Let's move on finally to the peanut M&M bar. Now this is the one that might kind of differ the most in flavour because I'm not really sure how they're going to incorporate those peanuts in. So it says the bar is just, again, the standard milk chocolate with M&Ms, minis and peanut pieces. Now it's only 7.5% peanut. I don't know how much that's going to translate into each mouthful, but we will soon find out. The typical peanut M&M, you know, you have the whole peanut in there, so it's a serious kind of sweet and salty, savoury, dessert-like flavour you have going on in each one. So it'll be interesting to see how well that translates to a bar. Of all the packaging, this is my favourite because I think it's such a standout colour. I just think it looks like such a classic M&M's product, even for being brand new. So let's just get our nashers into it and see what it's like. Oh, deceased. That smell though. Okay, so we open this up. Yet again, we have a nicely laid out chocolate bar because you have the milk chocolate and all of those rainbow M&Ms. Lots of blue featured on this one. But on the back, you can see all those chunky shards of chopped up peanuts and my word, the smell. You barely even smell the chocolate because there's such a strong peanut smell. I don't know if there's any peanut flavouring added to the bar. Obviously, we have those 7.5% of peanut pieces, but there is also a flavouring ingredient towards the end, which could be, you know, a natural or artificial peanut flavouring to kind of accentuate it. But we don't really care as long as it tastes good. So let's give it a go. The peanut M&M bar. Very pleased to see how chunky these peanut pieces are. You can see those big chopped bits of peanut in there. Nothing too small, so you get a perfect big roasted savoury ballsy peanut flavour. serious peanut flavour in there and a great crunchy texture from it. But while I do find this absolutely delicious, because the sweetness of the chocolate balances so well with that kind of savoury roasted nut flavour, I don't think you get the full kind of M&Ms chocolate experience from this. If this was just a plain chocolate peanut bar, perfect. Great balance of flavours and textures. But I do think because the peanut flavour is so strong and you're, you know, kind of looking forward so much to the crunch of the actual peanuts, I think the M&Ms do kind of get lost in this one. So while I, as a massive peanut fan, think it is great, I think as an M&Ms bar, it's maybe kind of missing out on what you're buying it for. This one, I think if you're going to be paying £2.50 for it, you're not getting the full kind of M&Ms experience with it, just a good peanut chocolate bar. So on that basis, though it's good, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I'll admit, I did not expect to enjoy these as much as I did today, and it's not just because I'm hungry. I would personally recommend, if you're going to be buying these bars, to pick up either the plain or the crispy one first. Obviously, I can't speak for the hazelnut variety, so if you are a big hazelnut chocolate lover, please do pick that one up first. I would say if you're a peanut lover like me, this one is one that you'll enjoy, but I don't know if it's worth the £2.50 price tag because you can get other kind of nutty chocolate bars much cheaper. These, on the other hand, for the size of them, the taste, the texture, and just the enjoyment factor, I think even just once, it would be worth parting with your £2.50. And if I'm going to recommend any flavour, it's definitely the crispy one, because I think this gives you the best taste and texture combination for your money. Definitely the most unique of the three. Overall, really impressed. Would love to hear your thoughts if you have tried or you would like to try these M&Ms bars. Which one is your favourite? Which one do you think you'll like the most? Yeah, let me know in the comments. In the meantime, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already, because I'm here doing junk food reviews, recipes, vlogs, and other foodie content far too often. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you for the next one.